Today we are going to meet a special guest all the way from Brazil to learn about horror movies and how this industry is folding in Brazil and how it is transported and it's advertised overseas. Fabiana, could you please introduce yourself and what do you do for business?
Hi, everybody. My name is Fabiana Servilha. I am from Brazil and I do horror movies here. I have an independent horror company called HELLS Bells Filmes. You can check it out at my pages on Facebook and Instagram.
And why do you specialize in horror films? Why only horror films?
Why only horror films is a good question. Since that I am a kid, I my parents always let me watch this kind of movies, and I started to enjoying to watch this, and the reaction about to feel scary. It was a lot of fun in the time, and I started to fall in love with this kind of movies, scary movies. I think because it's all the fantastic atmosphere that involves those kind of films, mental problems, thriller movies, uh, slasher movies. They are very fun, and I thought when I was kid, wow, I think because everything was false, it is a fiction movie, it's not real. So I thought, well, so exist people who works doing this in life. It must be the coolest thing ever to do horror movies. And in fact, they are very fun to do. You laugh, it's awesome. So I really like, and I have this kind of conversation about death in my life, and I think that is a good path to explore more.
How do you put a horror movie together? How do you build a movie?
How?
Yeah.
Basically, in a first moment, I asked help for two friends that I had in the time. And today we are basically around 50 people doing a movie. We are doing my next movie. It is a short film called No Way Out. It will be inside of an anthology called Stranger Tales Part 2. We are stopped right now because of the pandemic around the world. So you cannot do really well movies at this time. So I think that it will be available to everybody to watch in another countries also with English subtitles, sorry, Spanish, and I think it will be a good work. And I used to choose people that are crazy just like me, that has a lot of passion and wants to do something, you know
Yeah, okay. And how do
could
you
you
make, yeah, I got you, Fabiana. How do you make a good and fantastic horror movie?
how do I do?
Yeah.
I think that you must to fall in love with the idea. I love to create. I am a very creative person. So every time that I feel there's something, I need to feel first, So every time that I feel that something is really interesting, I run to get a piece of paper and to write and save this idea for later. I use it to write a lot of all her stories to myself when I was teenager. So when the time comes to have the opportunity to have all the equipment, camera, friends, my crazy friends and talented friends together, I say, well, let's do it.
How do you choose the idea for a film?
How do I choose?
Yeah.
I need that the idea choose me. You know, I think that's something that I don't know when a good idea will happen. It only comes through you. So the ideas are somewhere in the sky to everybody to reach. And the first one that is just like a channel to reach this idea and has the all the collaboration and all the tools to make this real in a reality is the first to do this in life. So I must feel and have, of course, the conditions. The conditions is also money because movies are expensive. It involves a lot of people. You cannot do movie alone, you know. You will need help from a lot of people.
Sure.
So you must feel, in my opinion, we need to feel when is the time to do this in your life.
Sure. Who are your audience in Brazil? Like, does Brazil offer you enough amount of people to watch horror movies? Fabiana?
It's growing. It's growing. Horror movies is. Sorry, can you hear
Yeah,
me?
yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Horror movies is for a selective group of people, right? It's not everybody who likes. I think that a lot of people has fear, has religion reasons for not to watch those kind of things. But it's growing. In fact, we have a huge public around the world who loves this kind of movies. They are amazing, right? And and in Brazil is growing. The last 10 years, people are enjoying more to watch Brazilian movies because we had nothing a long time ago. We had nothing about Brazilians doing horror movies. You know, Brazilians are very known because of the soccer, because of the carnival, because Carmen Miranda, Gisele Bündchen, and not horror movies. So a crazy guy did this decades ago. Sorry, uh, called Coffin Joe, Zé do Caixão. He was a Brazilian filmmaker doing for the first time ever horror movies in Brazil with low budget around the world, you know. And new filmmakers. Okay. So we had in Brazil a crazy and fantastic person called José Mojica Marins, Coffin Joe, who did horror movies for the first time ever in Brazil with low budget, without the best conditions to make this happen. And he did a lot of movies. So he constructed everything around here about horror movies, and he's very famous around the world still. And now we have a good number of uh, filmmakers doing this kind of film in Brazil because before we never saw horror movies done by Brazilians. We know you guys know Brazil because of the Neymar, soccer, Carnaval, Carmen Miranda, Gisele Bündchen, not horror movies. So this guy was very important to our history because he started everything. So if we have horror movies going on right now, it was because of what he constructed in the past. And now you can see women's doing, just like me, horror movies, this kind of film in Brazil, and it is growing in the last 10 years. The audience, the public, I think that Brazilians is starting to get the feeling to to get more uh, things that Brazilians do, because all our lives we are very familiar with the cinema movies from Hollywood, you know, and we left behind the feeling to watch our own product. Sorry, my tongue is crazy right now. So we need to create this feeling to see the things that we do here, our artists, Brazilians making movies, because we
Yeah.
have excellent actors, excellent people, and sometimes those kinds of students who learns movies here, cinema, goes out of Brazil to work because we don't have an industry here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So my next question is, how do you compete with international brands? How do you compete with Hollywood?
I don't like this word competition, because I think that this is a big illusion. uh, why to compete when we are talking about art, right? So it's hard to answer this. I think that your kind of competition that you mean is competition about we don't have a industry, and all our lives we were able to only see Hollywood films and pay for it, and our artists are not working, are struggling to create movies because of this. We unfortunately we we don't have enough money like them to construct more things, to make more things. But we have a good, we are growing also. But in Brazil, you still depend a lot of money coming from government, those kind of things, So you need to get your project inside these things to receive money from the country to create this, you know, because it's not an industry.
Great. And where do you see the future of horror movies in Brazil?
Before finding right now Brazilian horror movies with low budget inside Netflix, for example, in Brazil. We are seeing Brazilian movies doing with millions of reels done and going in theaters and on television. Is growing. I think that the path will be every time better and better. But it is still a little hard to us who does in a independent way, but we can reach there. We can go there soon.
Sure. What is your next movies about?
What is what? Sorry.
What is your upcoming movie, the next movie? What is your next film about?
My next movie is called No Way Out. It is a short horror movie with several directors from all over Brazil doing a feature film, horror stories. And I am the writer, producer, and director of one short horror movie. And it is a movie that I will speak a little about karma, in love inside all her movies. So it's very exciting. I am also a therapist. I love all this kind of things, just like meditation, esoteric, and the movie has a lot of this universe, you know. So it's a lot of fun to. I am having a lot of fun creating.
Yeah, that is great. What else would you like to say today, Fabiana?
I would like to say, if you have any questions or if you want to contact me, you just please let my links below here, Hells Bells Films, Instagram and Facebook. My English is not that great, but we can talk for sure. And Brazil is creating things. Is still you can see women's doing all her movies or doing films in Brazil. That's not only Carnival here, and it is a beautiful country. And if you'd like to see more information about this movie that we will be done in the next year, called the Stranger Tales Part 2, just contact me. I will be glad to have a conversation.
Yeah, congratulations on your next film and all the best wishes for you with great success. And hopefully, we see Brazil internationally famous for horror movies and especially women producers and directors in the near future. Thank you so much, Fabiana, for your talk.
Thank you.